Hey there guys, welcome back to the modern JavaScript Crash course. In this video we're going to be diverging slightly from built-in objects, but build upon what we learned from strings and take a look at the fairly basic concept in JavaScript, and that is string concatenation. As always guys, if you're new here and you like the content, don't forget to like and subscribe and make sure you turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Right guys, so string concatenation is a technique used in JavaScript to merge two or more strings together into one value, and there are three ways we can concatenate strings in JavaScript. So the first thing I'm going to do to showcase this, I'm just going to create some variables. So I'm going to say let company equals, let's say Apple, close that off, and then create one more for let, we'll say product, and we'll set that to a string value of iPhone, and then one more variable which is going to combine the two, and we'll just call this combine for now, but we won't give it a value. Now what I want to do from here is combine these two variables, and the first way we can concatenate variables together is using the plus operator. So we'll go underneath this variable here, we'll grab the combine variable, and it will give it a value of company, which is the first variable, using the plus operator, and then the product variable, and we'll close that off and then just log this into the console. So we'll log in combine, and as you can see we're now getting the output of Apple iPhone, which is these two variables here combined. Now JavaScript doesn't automatically assume that there's a space between these variables, and because you'll most likely want a space between these strings, you will need to tell JavaScript that you want a space between these two string variables. Now there's two ways we can actually separate these two string variables. The first way is just going into the first variable here, go to the last character and just add a space, and as you can see now it's creating that space. And another way we can do it is if we just close that off and go back to our combine variable here, and we'll go after the first operator, insert another string with some space in between that, and then use the plus operator again, and as you can see now it's giving us the output of the space that we want between our variables there. And what we can do from here is actually add another string. So let's just go after the product, use the plus operator again, grab the single quote marks and put a full stop inside those quote marks. So you see now that Apple iPhone has a period at the end of it now. So this is the first way we can concatenate strings inside JavaScript. Now the second way we can concatenate strings is using the concat method. So what I'm going to do is just duplicate this and then comment the first one out, and then just delete most of this, and then go after the first variable, which is company, which has the value of Apple, then grab the concat method and then close it off with parentheses because this is a method, and then inside the parentheses the first thing we're going to do is have that space between Apple and iPhone. So we'll insert a empty string with a space between it, then after the empty string we want to use a comma, then insert the second variable, which is product, which is iPhone, and then if we want to include that full stop, just use a comma, insert another string with a full stop inside of it, and as you can see now we're getting the exact same output as we did with the first example here. Now the third and final way to perform string concatenation is using template strings, which are relatively new, and if you guys remember back to our data types video, we spoke about how we can create strings using single or double quotes, but we can also create them using backticks, which I mentioned has more functionality. So to demonstrate that functionality, I'm just going to duplicate this one more time, and let's just create some space here, and we'll get rid of all of this. And then what we're going to do, instead of using single quote marks or double quote marks for creating a string, we're going to use the backtick, and now we can write anything we want in here like we can with normal strings. So we're just going to create a sentence here. We're going to say the, and if we want to include our variable for company, which has the value of Apple, with template strings you first use the $, and then you use curly braces, and then we insert the name of the variable, which is company, and then include the other variable, which is product, and we'll say the Apple iPhone 13 is the best. So as you can see with template strings, we can concatenate our variables here, and then we can write anything we want before or afterwards, and it will create the right amount of space and give us a perfect sentence without the need of having to use operators or more quote marks just to create the space between the strings like these two examples here. So those are the three different ways we can concatenate strings. We can either combine them with the operators like in the first example here with a plus symbol, or the .concat method, or in my opinion the best method, which is using template strings, which has the functionality of the backticks, which helps us combine string variables with these using just the $, and the curly braces like these two examples here. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. If you like the content, please hit the like button and please consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video.